Hello guys, and welcome to one of my first tutorials here. We are going to be building my cow farm that I just designed today. I had a very similar design that I designed in episode 15 of my Let's Play. However, it seems to have been broken in 1.3 because now you can no longer breed cows in a 1x1 area apparently. So I had to create a whole new design here, and it's definitely an improvement. I'm glad I did it because it's a lot more compact overall, I believe, and it just looks nicer in general. I mean, this isn't necessarily going to have to be built exactly this way with sandstone and glass, it's just the way I did it. We are on a locally hosted server that I set up for testing, and this is the 1.3 pre-release. And this design will only work in 1.3 due to some of the features I used. So I'm just going to show a quick trial run of this. As you can see, currently the minecart is blocked, so we cannot cook the cows that way. But here's what happens. We push this button, and water releases in these four corners, and a hole opens up in the center. We wait a little bit. It takes quite a while, but there's going to be a door up here to go into a breeding room. That's just how you have to do it. And you would breed cows up here, and this is how you get more cows into the farm. But that cow drops down here, and he gets pushed into the corner by a water stream. And then when we want to cook him, we come down here to our collection point. This ice doesn't, there's water stream down there, but thanks to the ice, it slides all the way. So it's not a big issue. But what we have to do is step on this pressure plate, which could be hooked up to a T flip-flop or not. I personally am going to use it like going by. Man, we missed that. Alright, I will have to demonstrate that again really quickly. But as you can see here, from this point of view, all you do is step on the pressure plate, wait a few seconds, and some beef appears. Normally you would let a couple cows down, then you'd breed them up in this chamber until the chamber is pretty full of cows, like 10 cows at least. And then you would just run by here really quick and step on the pressure plate and come back in a couple minutes to collect it all. You could not hook this up to a T flip-flop if you're planning on just like stepping on the pressure plate and AFKing it. You could just let it all come to you. Did that just go around and cook him? Yeah, it did. Why is that doing that? Alright, I thought I disabled it, but it appears I haven't. Alright, I'm going to step on this again to disable it. One step on the pressure plate flips the T flip-flop. Normally this would all be underground, but since it's a super flat, I could not fit it. So we're going to try this again. Let a cow down. It should be pretty fast at this point since there's so few of them. The fewer cows there are, the less they bump into each other. Alright, so we're just doing a quick demonstration. Cow falls down, and then when we want him, pressure plate, and let's fly around real quick. Lets the minecart down, and it will grab the cow out of the corner, goes up. That's 14 blocks, then it falls all the way down while he's burning. He hits that, some pistons push it, and then the minecart comes back around here and goes back into cooking. So this will quickly kill all the cows off in the chamber, and that system will cause all of their drops to deposit right here in this spot. And it does not appear to have left any drops behind, so it is relatively consistent with saving the drops. And it will continuously go forever since the drops are pushed off of the cart track by these pistons. So now I'm going to show you how to build it. First, we want to get a 5x5 sandstone box here. And just got to build that really quickly. And we want to put a wall around it like this. And we do want to have a floor. Didn't account for that until now. But we want to build a wall all the way around, too high so they can't get out, but they won't be able to get out anyway. And then we want to put glass in the center here. It doesn't really matter, I just like to have a window. And let's see, so then we want to go right here, and I believe, and put that. And then we have a little window here, and we stand on a half slab, so we've got a perfect angle to breed the cows. And then we put some stairs here on the side just for looks. But yeah, now we've got our breeding chamber here. I'm going to throw some extra fancy stuff in just for no specific reason. And we need this extra layer here for sure. So we want to build all this up, and then I believe we put a button on both sides. Yeah, that's correct. So right here and right here we have a button. So that's our breeding chamber. And we put this water in the corner here so they get pushed there. And then we dig out these 2 blocks. And right there, there's going to be the rail track. That's the start of it, and we're not going to do that till later in this tutorial, so just forget about that for now. But we have our breeding chamber, and now let's move on to step 3. So I'm going to build this tube out of glass. It's not really important to build it out of glass. I just like it because it's easier to see. However, there is one spot in the tunnel where it will matter. This needs to be 3 by 3 first. But yeah, there is one spot in the tunnel where there's a tripwire, and that will affect it, so you do need to make sure that's glass. And that spot is right on these 2 blocks that I've marked with sandstone. Those need to be glass because there is going to be a tripwire over them. And a tripwire can either be over all air and transparent blocks or all normal blocks. And it cannot be over... Here, I'll just demonstrate this really quickly. We get some string. So if you place this here and you place this here, you can see it will link up because it's floating in midair. However, if we take that away and we put sandstone here, then you place this, notice it does not connect. That's because some of it's floating and some of it isn't, but glass is considered floating. So if you replace this and then you take it back and put it away again, there you go, you've got your tripwire. So now we want to build the rest of the glass around this, and we want to put some sandstone over the top of it. So now we're up here, and this is where we want to build the cow holding chamber. So we're going to go out 3 in each direction from this circle, and overall we're looking for a 9 by 9 area on this, which will cause all the water to perfectly flow to the center. So what we want to do is place sandstone all around here, and as you can see what I'm doing, I'm just going to cut here, and I'll be back when I finish building the cow chamber. Alright guys, so I finished building this room, and I figured I should probably show this part. Right here, you want to put a piston in each of these corners. If you didn't want the piston texture in this room, because you are going to be entering this room to breed cows up here every once in a while. If you don't like the piston texture, I'm sure you could probably adjust this design to fit your needs. But I'm going to be using the piston texture because I don't really care. Alright, sorry I got interrupted there, but as I was saying, yeah, I don't really mind the piston texture personally, but it could be easily adjusted. So we want to put those 4 pistons in the corner, and then there needs to be 1 sticky piston, which I believe is facing away from the main console type thing. So that would be right here. We want to put the piston on this side. Actually, it's facing towards it. Okay, so now our next step here, we want to set up the redstone for all of this. So we want to put a T flip-flop. I can see it in the background over there. I'm looking off that. I know relatively well what I'm doing, but I'm not completely sure I've got the redstone to memory. But what we want to do is put 2 pistons on both of these sides. This is a basic, really compact T flip-flop. You might know about it if you know about redstone, otherwise you don't, probably. But it's a really nice design, and if you use redstone, I'd recommend it, definitely. Alright, so now what's going to happen is whenever a cow falls down this hole, he's going to hit the tripwire. That's going to power this block, which will power this redstone, and that will trigger the T flip-flop. So our next step here is to put a redstone torch on the bottom, and then we want to get an output coming out of here. So what we're going to do now, after we've got that output, is come around here and put a redstone torch below all of these pistons. And this is how we're going to be powering them. We're going to control these redstone torches, just because it's an easy way to do it. I originally was intending to have this whole thing be visible to the console, but it ended up getting kind of messy, so I decided against it personally. If you want to show your redstone off, you can in your design. But yeah, we want to come up here now on all the sides, and we want to hook up this redstone, and we want to wire it to all of our torches. And the way you want to do this, you need to make sure you avoid the redstone torches, because if you place the redstone directly next to any of these torches, it will power it and screw the whole system up. But yeah, now what we want to do for these, we have those two powered, and we need to hook up the other three. So we want to put a repeater here, and run a wire all the way down, and then we want to go over here and do the same thing on this side. And then we should have all of our ones for the corner waters wired up. So now all of these are open. We might as well put our water in now. Oh, I forgot to put sandstone here when I got interrupted. But alright, let's just place water here, and as you can see, it leaves a perfect hole in the center, which is exactly what we need. And now we need to hook this up. I don't recall exactly how I did this. Oh, it's just branched off. Alright, so if we go over here to that torch, yeah, right here, and we put that there, and all we gotta do is run this one wire. So this thing's hooked up now. So now let's just test it really quick, I guess. If we take our miscellaneous and we throw a cow down there, normally you'd have to load the cows in yourself. He will drop, and it all seals up, and the water goes out. That's how you know you did it right. And now what we need to do is hook up these buttons to the T flip-flop. So what we're going to do is come here. We need a line going like this all the way down, and we need to block that so it doesn't interfere with the other line. And then that needs to be routed up into the T flip-flop, which needs it to go under here. So now we go like this and up. No, one more down. Now we go up. And I believe that is how we did it over here. Let's just check really quick, because that doesn't seem right. No, we did a repeater. Alright. So we gotta change this a little bit. Sorry, I'm a little unsure of this. I'm kind of making this tutorial. I wanted to get it done tonight, so didn't get as much preparation as I probably should have. But whatever, I'll improve on it as I go. So going up like this. And now we need to place redstone like that. How did I get that up? Let's see again. I'm not sure exactly how I did it, honestly. Oh, I see. So we routed it around. So I believe that would be right here. Alright, I'm gonna figure this out and I'll be back. Alright, so I figured it out here. What we actually did over there is we went up a block, and that will stop the interference with the redstone. And then we just gotta drop on the last block, I believe. So that should all work now. And what we did here was we came up like that. Or no, we came up like this. There we go. And then we need a repeater right here, which will power this block and power the T flip-flop. So if we hook this up correctly, then this should work. Alright, that worked. And these buttons will set up toggle the T flip-flop. We can toggle it again if we want, but that's not how it's supposed to work. So now let's just test the whole system, and then we'll have this system done. So we'll put some cows in there, push this button, all the water opens up and the hole opens up in the center. Wait for a cow to fall. They do take a while, which is one flaw in the system that could maybe be fixed in future versions. But for now, it works for my needs. So as you can see, he fell and it immediately responded and closed. And we now have a couple cows down here. So the cow chamber is all done. So our next step here is to make our railway, which I'm going to check really quick. Although I suppose I don't have to because I have a whole thing drawn out, but let's see. We want one. Alright, I got it. And basically we just want to have it come out 6 from there and then go up. So I got it. Let's just build it now. I specifically, when I built this, I went 14 high with it. However, you can build it however high you would like to. This one is powered right here. And then it comes... I'm relatively sure I only put 2 powered rails because we need an effect with the minecart to keep this whole system working. How this whole system works is it uses an empty cart detector. That way when the minecart goes up, it cannot make it up to the top unless there is a cow in the minecart, and then it will make it up to another set of powered rails, which will launch it to the top. So the system all works out pretty well. Gotta check this again. Don't remember exactly how I did it, honestly. Alright, there we go. So it goes around, I believe. Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up. And then it turns on 6. So we need to turn here. We can't go up when we do a turn. And this is going to be powered rails again. We need the strip of like 3 powered rails. And then we're going to keep going up until we reach 14 blocks up. And that is about right here. I did 14. You don't necessarily have to do 14. It's just the number I picked and it kills them. I think we could do it. Did we go around? I think we went out a little bit. I don't recall exactly. Again, I apologize for checking all of this. Alright, so it goes up powered rails most of the way. Alright, I'm just going to figure out exactly how much this is and I'll be back. Don't want to waste too much time doing this. Alright, so I figured it out. And we have our thing here, so I'm just going to build this up. I'm going to put a regular rail here and then go up like that. And that is our rail line for this. So I did have to go back and move this out one more because I made an error in my counting, I guess. So it's alright now, you just need to expand it out one further. Overall, when you get to the end, this block should have 3 spacing to the wall here. There should be 3 air blocks in between, so that's a good way to tell. Our next step here is we want to install a lava blade, and that will go right over here. Crap, I needed that sign. Yeah, the lava blade will go right here. They'll be falling on that spot. So, gotta go up like that, and I'm going to put a casing around this. You can put whatever casing you want around it, but it doesn't really matter. So now we want to put this here, and we need to make this one longer so we can add another sign. And we want to put a lava bucket right there. And there we go. Now we've got our cooker. And our final step on the cooking mechanism here, which is right over there, is that right out of this system, which is meant to be right here, that is correct. Wait a minute, but why is this not set up correctly? Oh, okay, it can go under there. So we're all good. I was getting a little worried there, but we're not in any issue here. So we want to have a back wall going down. I personally like to do a whole tube, but I believe it's optional. I don't see any reason why you would have to have a big tube. So right lined up with that, that is where we're going to kill our cows. Lined up with that redstone torch, that middle area is where the cows are going to be killed. I just like to put the redstone torches underground, but we might need to move them. This whole area back here will never be seen by the player unless you intend for it to in whatever your world is. I don't really know. And you can do it however you want, but personally I will never show this to whoever else is coming by. It'll all be sealed up. Therefore I didn't hide any of the wiring back here. It could be hidden relatively easily, but it would make it a little less compact probably. So I want to go around here. And for now, that's all the stretch of rail we have to do. So the next step, now that we have this all in place, I'm going to take 3 pistons, 2 sticky, 1 regular. And we want to place the sticky pistons here and the regular piston here. The sticky pistons are to make sure we don't destroy the rails along the way. And then we want to dig out a 5-wide trench and dig a hole there. And then we want to take a sign, place the sign here. Let's get a water bucket also. God, we got dogs barking in the background. Place a sign here, 2 water, and then 1 water there. And there we go, now we got this. And I'm going to dig a trench for a while here, all the way to the edge of this, and then +6, I believe, is the number that I figured out before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we want to go, oh, alright. Then we want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're good. And then we want to get some ice. It does have to be ice for this. You could adjust the canals pretty easily to not need ice, but I just used ice in my design because it's faster anyway, and I like that. Alright, so we want to dig up right here, and that's going to be our collection point, so we can remember that. So now we've got that whole canal dug out, and because of the ice, it will slide to the end, right onto where the pressure plate is and where the ice stops, which is nice. But okay, we've got our water currents in place now. So our next step here is to set everything up to be wired up. So let's get our wiring stuff out. We need a redstone torch, most likely. Alright, so let's put 3 redstone on top of here. And what we want to do is right here have a repeater going like this. Another repeater going like that. No, actually we need a sideways. We need one pointing at it, I believe. No, it is this way. Sorry. Now we want to go here and then have 2 facing away from it. This is called a reversible signal generator. I'll demonstrate what it does in a moment here. Alright, when you power this from this side, it should go, you can see the right side turns on, then the left side turns on. And, okay, we have this backwards, I believe, because it shouldn't do that. Maybe we have to power this side first. That's strange. Right, left. Left should turn off first. I don't see why it isn't. Oh, I see why. We have this backwards. So now it should work, right? And now it doesn't turn left on. Alright, what is our issue? God, I've got everything wrong here. Alright. Now it should go left, right. So it's right, left, left, right. Alright, so the way to build that is 2 4-tick repeaters going away from the detector rail, and then on this side you want to have a repeater going towards the tube. This is the side further from the detector rail, and then you want to have one on the other side that points away from the tube. So you got that? Look, it's right there. You can take a second to look at that. Alright, so now we can get back to what we were doing before. Put that detector rail back. Actually, we shouldn't yet because we want to test that later. And we need to slip in something to power this really quick. I'm just going to use a lever on the back here. But you probably could figure out a way to use a torch if you want to hide this because you're making it visible. So now our next step here is we want to have right here, we want to have some blocks going up, 3 to be specific, and that will power pistons under these 2 blocks. What are these for, you might ask? When you push these rails out, they will be fine. They won't have any issues, they will sit out over that water and they'll be completely happy. However, when they get pulled back, they seem to update or something, and they break, and we don't want that. So that's what this whole wiring is for. These will push out, and no, these will push out first, these two blocks, and then these will push out so they have something to rest on. And then on the falling edge, which is the end, these will pull back first, and then these will pull back. So always the detector rails will be on a block. That way they never break when they get pulled back, and it solves all of our problems. So now the other thing we need to do is run a wire around from this, and it can go up and then around like that. And that is where we're going to run our wire. And I believe that should work out nicely. So there we go. Now if this all should work right, if we go like this, see the powered rails push out, and this allows us to push everything into the water canals. Otherwise some would get stuck on the side rails, and then it would jam the minecart and the whole system would break. Now we flip it back, and on the falling edge, that retracts first. So we've got that whole system designed. So hopefully you understand that. I'll just go through the processes. When you flip this, first right turns on, then left turns on. Right corresponds to this, left corresponds to that for all future reference. And when right turns on first, it pushes out these two blocks. Then when left turns on second, it pushes out the powered rails. On the return, the powered rails pull back first, and then the sandstone pulls back. So that's how this whole system works, and that allows us to collect all of their drops and put them in these canals, and that will make sure that the tracks don't get jammed up. So now we want to change that to a detector rail, so it just automatically cleans up the drops after the cow goes by and dies. So we've got that all figured out now. That's good. So our next step here is to build our rail all the way back around to reconnect to this. And I'm going to do this off camera because this is kind of a flexible thing. If you want to copy me exactly, you can, and I'll run through exactly how big it is and everything. But it's really something that's flexible, and you could do it however you want as long as it doesn't interfere with anything. It's all trial and error. So that's all. I'll be back once I finish that, and I'll show you the finished product of our design. Alright, so I've built our rail line here. I need to make it daytime really quickly. If you notice, that's a new 1.3 glitch. On peaceful, mobs will spawn and instantly vanish. This kind of creates a rave mob effect. Kind of funny. But yeah, here we go. We've got this whole thing built now, the return line and all. So I guess our next step here is to give it a little test run. So hopefully it all works out. I have not tested it yet, so this is going to be a first reaction. Let's just place this here, and it should pick up a cow immediately. And hopefully it will go up the second time. Okay, I may need to add another powered rail. I'm not completely sure why that's not making it. There we go. So now he's going to catch fire, he's going to come down here, he's going to hit that. Now, as you can see, the automated piston system worked. The thing is going to ride the return rail, and it's going to go back into the loop. It's going to come back around, catch him on fire, hit that, cause the drops to be put down, and then it'll circle back around again. And we'll see it right here. And we are out of cows down there at the moment, so as you can see, there's no more. Normally what you'd do is you'd disable the system for a while, and then you'd breed them in here. Then once you had like 10 or so cows, I just picked up the drops if you didn't see that. So you can see them here, and you can breed them, and then once you get like 10 to 15 maybe, then you could go back and activate this. How I do it personally is I'm just going to run up to it, step on a pressure plate quickly. Now I'm going to go to do something else because I'm going to have a lot of other farms around here. And then I'm just going to have it hooked up to a T flip-flop so I can come back a little bit later and pick up my reward. And that minecart is not going to make it since it does not have a cow in it. The only reason it made it up is because I bumped it. So it normally will not do that in your system. If it's doing that, you have more than 3 powered rails down here, and that is your issue. So let's see, does the minecart roll here now? Yep. So what we want to do here now is just run a wire down here. And, oh, I remember why this was a repeater now, so that needs to be changed. So what we want to do is run a wire from all the way over here to a T flip-flop. And what I did on the other one was I had a little fancy collection point here. There were stairs on this, and then a line of stairs across here. And you could just stand here, and then one back there was some sandstone, and I placed a pressure plate. You can really do this however you want. The collection point will, you could move it wherever you want. After that water stream, you can send it wherever. You could send it to an AFK stream somewhere. I probably will hook up an option for that in my world. Or anything you really want to do with it. You could burn them for all I care, but it's your call. So I'm going to get some sticky pistons because we need them for this T flip-flop. And then we're going to run a wire down. And this wire is very messy. Normally I would run it off to the side somewhere and then run it underground and have the whole pressure plate underground. However, since we are in a flatland, the ground is only about 3 deep, so that's not really a possibility here. But we're just going to run this down, and here's an optional part. I'm going to put another T flip-flop here personally, but that is completely optional step. You could just directly hook it up, but if you directly hook it up, that requires you to stand there at all times when you want to collect drops, and it will stop the minecart as soon as you step off, which it really depends on what you're planning on doing with the cow farm. If you want to just stand there for a couple minutes and collect stuff while going and doing something else, that's fine. But personally, for my needs, I'm going to be just quickly stepping on it and moving on to something else for a while, because that's my base is all about going pretty quick most of the time. So now we actually have this hooked up backwards. I've made a mistake. We want to hook this side up to that, and then we want to have this go up one and connect to this top redstone. We need to power these 2 redstone. So now you'll see currently the cart is stuck in that position because the piston is down. But if we step on this pressure plate really quickly, just like in passing say, the minecart's now active. Then when we come back to collect the drops, which will be sitting on that pressure plate, walk over it again. After we collect the drops, the minecart is back to the off state, and cows will no longer be collected here. After that, you just push this button, patiently wait while cows get dropped from above, then push it again, and you wait, and another cow will drop shortly, and then you can just come, you can breed them through this window, make new cows, and then you just kind of spam wheat into this area for the most part when you want to breed the cows. It's not the best system in the world, but it works. There might actually be room here for another in the next model of this, or maybe could even do it really quick. You could install a system that would turn that water on and off, although it's not a necessity or anything. The only benefit might be that the cows would mix themselves up a little bit more. But I like this because it constantly keeps the cows moving, which is good. It always keeps them pushed towards one area. It keeps them towards you. That's what I like about it. So now we've got some cows in there, and we've bred them for a while. Let's say we want to start killing them again. Quick thing, you just run down here, and then walk back up these stairs in my regular survival world, and they'll just start being collected. And you can hear the pistons going off in the background, and you can probably see the cart coming back around. It's going to go up, then you wait, we're going to hear some pistons, and there comes the cart. And right about now we've got some drops coming out right there. Perfect length. The drops probably would have stopped right there anyway. And now we're going to have another set of drops coming down shortly. right about now, maybe. Yep. Now, in our survival world, we just run by here again. And there you go. Minecart stopped, back to normal. And there you go. That's pretty much all there is to the design. I like it. Took me a few hours to redesign the whole system, but I do like how it turned out. Here I did some little aesthetic changes, like extending the command panel one more, and adding this little thing here so it's all completely covered up. Could add one more over here and one more over here just to make sure everything's hidden. I will probably do pretty much a very similar design to this in my LP world, or not the Blockception world, is what I mean when I say that. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to the design. I think it's a pretty good way to do it. It's completely to your discretion how you get in this room. Probably what I would do is just have this glass right here, and maybe just, you've got some room up here, you could hook up a piston door maybe, or you could just put a regular wooden or iron door there. I just have a window here so I can watch the cows from down here, which I like. And it just kind of gives me a good angle on everything, but you don't need to do that. It's not a necessity. It's all for aesthetic reasons. So if you want to put a door there or whatever, and also this doesn't have to be open top. It doesn't make a difference. Although, I don't know, I'm still worried a little bit about cows glitching out, which is also why I filled in the corners, because sometimes mobs will glitch through a corner, and the SMP bugs have not been completely worked out yet in 1.3. But overall, that's pretty much all there is for the tutorial. If you've got any other questions on the design, just leave them in the comments and I'll make sure to answer them. Maybe even if it's a big thing, or if you want to know how to do something else, I can put up a tutorial for that. Also, if you've got any requests for future tutorials, maybe for designs I've done in my Blockception Let's Play, then I will gladly put those up for you if you just request them. And until next time, see ya.